Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream. Today, we are going to be talking about van life year 3. I am Joe,
Kate?
and we're the Russos. I kind of wanted to start this off a little differently today. I wanted to start by telling you a bit of a story. So, back in 2015, Kate and I hit the road in a Class A motorhome towing a Jeep. Now, when we started, we had two big dogs. We felt like we needed this huge rig. And, we quickly realized that as we continued to move around the country, minimize our lifestyle, we really began to find that we had empty closets, empty bays, and could we go smaller because we were finding that a lot of the places we went, we were restricted by our size. As Kate and I talked, we began to realize that going down to something smaller like a Class B might very well be a good option for us, and we began shopping. Well, in 2017, we moved into our first Class B motorhome. It was on the ProMaster chassis, just under 21 feet long, and we found that suited our lifestyle perfectly. We were able to minimize enough of our stuff to be able to fit into this small space. And we loved the fact that we could park that van pretty much anywhere and we could go and do all of these things that we were restricted from doing with the large motorhome. So now going into year 3 of van life, we are on the hunt again for a new camper. It could be a van, truck camper, or just something small. But what we've realized is that number one thing that we're looking for is that the vehicle, along with the motorcycle I either put on the back or put inside, fits into a standard parking spot. So what we want to do today is kind of talk to you more about what we've been looking at, what we're looking for, answer your questions in general about van life or shopping for a van or an RV in general, and any advice or help we can give you, because we really make these videos so we can help inspire all of you to get out and live the lifestyle you want. And if there's any way we can help, we would love to. All right, so
Yeah, that was
quite the
good job.
monologue,
Yeah.
all in one take. I love it.
I have nothing to add.
So I think let's start with kind of catching everyone up with where we are, because not all of you have seen every single video. So again, we've spent the last 2 years in a ProMaster van. Earlier this year, that went back to the company, so we are currently looking for our next camper. What we want is something that can fit into a standard parking spot, have enough room and carrying capacity for all of our stuff, a place to put my motorcycle. And some of the things that we've been looking at and testing is we took out a leisure travel Wonder van for a couple weeks. We loved the size of that. The problem was that there was no room inside for a motorcycle, so if we were to put a motorcycle on the back, we would be about 28 feet long, which was just too long for us. We are currently in a Storyteller Overland Mode 4x4. This is their Ford Transit prototype. This is just over 19 feet long. With the motorcycle on the back, we're right around 22 feet, and we're currently in a standard parking spot. We have no problem getting around in this thing. And so far, we really love the size of the chassis. Plus, this has the high roof so we can stand up in it. But we do have a unicorn in mind. Do you want to tell everyone what that unicorn is?
I think our unicorn keeps changing. Wouldn't you agree?
It
So
does.
after we tested the Wonder, I think our unicorn was a small Class C, under 20 feet. Because we do like the wider body.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons we like the ProMaster, is because it's wide. It's the widest van chassis out there. So that's our unicorn, like a short Class C, a little wide, enough room for a motorcycle on the back, or a longer Class C with a garage for a motorcycle on the back.
Yeah, I've actually briefly considered going the schoolie route, because there are the short schoolies that have the handicap ramp in the back, which you could easily convert to bring a motorcycle up and make that back part a garage. There are vans that a lot of people have suggested where you could bring your motorcycle into the van. The problem with that is most motorcycles, after you've been riding them for a while, unless you let them air out for quite a while, they do off-gas fumes like exhaust fumes, gas fumes, and all the stuff we just don't want in our living area. So we want to either keep the motorcycle outside. We currently have it on a hitch rack. That hitch rack is a Joe Hauler, and so far we've put about 5,000 miles on it, and the thing is absolutely solid. So if anyone's looking for a hitch-mounted motorcycle rack or just a custom rack in general, check out Joe Hauler. They are awesome. Okay, so questions.
You ready for questions?
I am.
All right. So Roberto asks, if we purchase a used 4x4 Class B within the next 45 days, we still have decent window to go to Alaska this year. Have you thought about it, and is it possible? Alaska 2019.
I don't think Alaska 2019 is going to happen. We've committed to a lot of other things within the continental U.S., and I don't see us getting something in the next 45 days. There have been a lot of people out there who are speculating, and we've seen the comments, that we've already purchased something. I wish that was the case, but we are far from it. Every time we test something new or we look at something new, we find something that we gravitate towards. We may get to a point where really the only option for us is to go custom. And if that is the case, a lot of the places we've talked to, we're looking out at least 9 to 12 months, if not 18 months, depending on the shop who does the work. We've talked about doing the work ourselves. We just went to a van life gathering. We saw a lot of rigs that were home builds. And while I applaud those people for all the work and effort they put into them, what we've realized is that's just not our wheelhouse. We don't have all the skills necessary to do it. We don't have the place to do it, nor do we have the want to do it. We don't feel like we have to build our own thing. If someone's able to build what we want for us, we would be very happy with that, because there is a lot of engineering and development that goes into what you see behind me, and a lot of thought that is behind the walls, so to speak, and a lot of mistakes that have been made in the past and rectified. So I think for us, getting something custom built might be the way we go. We'll see.
And I will say, at the van life gathering we went to, we did meet a lot of people who, I guess I would consider it a home build, but they really designed it and then had someone else build it out for them.
Yes.
Not necessarily a like Sportsmobile or one of those outfitters, but somebody who's, I guess, on the more van outfitting building side.
Yeah.
So that's an option too.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have also suggested that we look at some of the smaller Class Cs, which we have. But again, going back to earlier, where we kind of get to a point where Class C doesn't work for us is like someone suggesting a 24-foot Phoenix Cruiser. At 24 feet, we still have to put the bike on the back, which adds about another 3.5 feet, and then we're at 27 feet. So there are a lot of places that would be restricted from going, and that's our number one concern about any vehicle we get going forward, is that we can get into, I would say, 90 to 100% of the places we want to go. And once you start getting over 25 feet, that number starts dwindling quickly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. Suzanne, also a patron of ours, would like to know, you've had Charlie with you for a while. Has it made you seriously consider adding a third four-legged member to the van family?
Well, for those of you who aren't aware, Charlie, again, is my mother's dog. We had Leo for the first year, a year and a half or a year of van life, and it was awesome having a dog with us. However, it's also great not having a dog because there are a lot fewer things to worry about. We still have a lot of international travel we want to do, so being able to take our camper to the airport parking, leave it there, and go on a flight is something we've done quite a few times, and it'd be difficult to do with a dog. I think one of the reasons for us having a dog and once we got on the road initially was so we could spend time with our dogs and not leave them behind. So if we had a dog, it would be another member of the family that we don't want to leave behind or bored.
I like the idea of a dog share. So perhaps a bunch of nomads can get together and have a dog that we all share.
Yeah.
Because we all travel, and it's been really nice to have Charlie for this time, and I really enjoy her company, but it's also nice to know that Joe's mom will be taking her back and we can do our thing and maybe borrow her again when we really want some four-legged companionship.
Yeah.
And she's having a ball.
She is. But I think it'll also be nice to travel without her again, because there are a lot of things we can do. For example, we've been traveling around the Big Sky states, and when we go to a national park, there are a lot of national parks that don't allow dogs on any of the trails. So if we do go away, we can only hike or be away from the van for so long before we need to get back and check on the pup. Something else I want to bring up as I'm watching the comments kind of trickle in and people are recommending different RVs to check out. Besides the size of the RV or camper, whatever it happens to be, we're also very considerate of the carrying capacity. And this seems to be something that gets lost on a lot of people or people don't necessarily think about. So I kind of want to talk about that a bit and get your opinions on it. So for those who aren't aware, every vehicle has what's known as a GVWR, which is the gross vehicle weight rating. And this is the maximum amount of weight that you can travel down the road with. Of course, the vehicle weighs something, so whatever is left is your carrying capacity. Now, when we've looked at different RVs, for example, we were looking at a used unit not too long ago, and when I looked at the vehicle and I looked at what carrying capacity was left after the whole vehicle had been built out, after Kate, myself, and a full tank of water, we would have only had about 150 pounds of carrying capacity. If you go over your carrying capacity, that can start to present some dangerous situations. So, for example, the suspension, the tires are only designed to carry a certain amount of weight. And once you go over that GVWR, you do begin to create a potentially dangerous situation. So that's something we're always very cognizant of. When we got our Class A, one of the reasons we liked it so much was after we were the two of us, plus our dogs, plus a full tank of water, I think we still had something like over 3,000 pounds of carrying capacity, so we were good. In the vans tend to be kind of different, let's put it that way. So we've looked at some vans where we might have 1,000 or 1,500 pounds of carrying capacity. Other vans we've looked at, we might only have a few hundred pounds of carrying capacity. We care about this quite a bit because my motorcycle and rack alone, right around 400 pounds, plus myself, Kate, full tank of water, you can eat up that carrying capacity pretty quickly. I think in this we had about, after the two of us and water, about 750 pounds, which is pretty good, especially for a van this size that's fully built out. So that's always something that's top of mind. And when we are looking at some of these conversion vans and other things, what we're finding is there just isn't enough carrying capacity for us to live out of that vehicle full time.
And the other thing that I don't think people consider either is if you were to get in an accident and you're overweight, that can present issues when it comes to insurance and all of that as well.
Yes, that is correct. So we have heard of vehicles being weighed in an accident because one of the considerations for that accident was that the vehicle was potentially overweight, unstable, or it wasn't able to brake fast enough. So during the investigation, they've weighed the vehicle and found it to be potentially overweight. So that can present issues.
Ready for more questions?
Absolutely. Take another sip of coffee.
Brian and Allison, who are also patrons of ours, asked, if you follow through with a 4x4 van purchase, would that increase the chances of traveling in other countries?
Interesting. So I think it's a great question. I don't know if having four-wheel drive would increase our chances of going to other countries. I would look at it more as, let's say, an additional insurance policy. So, for example, if we decided to drive down into Central and South America, excuse me, if we had a four-wheel drive vehicle, that would allow us to be more adventurous as we went through some of those countries and maybe checking some of the back roads rather than staying on highways. But for the most part, all of these countries are developed enough where they have a decent road system and you don't need four-wheel drive just to get around. But I will say, if you were going to be adventurous and kind of go off the beaten path, you absolutely want four-wheel drive, and not necessarily to use four-wheel drive to get you there. You want four-wheel drive to get you out of a situation you may have gotten yourself in. The exception to that is what we took this thing on a few weeks ago, which was in Tokerville Falls. If you didn't see our last video, we took this camper van off-roading. And it's been fun reading through the comments. A lot of people have commented that they could take their cars down that trail. And if you could, I want to see some photos and videos of it, because we didn't even film the sketchy parts. There were a few parts where we were so tilted over, or we had such a large obstacle in front of us that Kate had to get out, spot me. I told her to put the phone down, put the camera down, and just let me go. Show me where I need to be.
I had to be a good spotter.
Yes.
And I will say, getting there was a challenge, but fun. But getting out was
even
a whole
harder.
Other story.
We were coming down some of those grades, and it was scary stuff. So it was much harder getting out than it was getting in, and we didn't even film the getting out part.
And then follow up to Brian and Allison's question is, they would like to know where the Berkey water purification system is, because we always had it in the last van and in our Class A, but he did not see it in the Storyteller Overland.
Well, do you want to show them what we're using?
Sure. So, Brian and Allison, to answer your question, the reason we don't have it in here is because this is a prototype that we're testing, and we didn't want to permanently attach a Berkey water filter to it. So we've been using our Grail Trail water purification system, which we take all over the country and around the world, especially when we go hiking, or when we were in Tibet, we had this, and it works just like the Berkey. You can add any kind of
put the water
to it,
and then just push this down, and it filters all the water.
Yeah, so that's what we've been using in here. But once we get our permanent camper, we will make sure there is a spot for the Berkey.
Big thank you to RLT Gamer. Thank you so much. We would love to use that at Chipotle. That's one of our favorite places to go when we're on the road.
How did you know? You just made Joe's day. He was actually talking about Chipotle last night because we drove by one.
I don't know. We might have Chipotle for dinner tonight. Thank you.
Okay. So one of the popular questions that we've been getting about this particular camper that we're testing is, how is the shower, and does it work well?
Yes, it does. It's great if you are good about taking a Navy shower. So this has a 22-gallon freshwater tank, which is more than enough for a couple of showers. We were checking the other day when I took a shower, and I think I used about 3 to 5 gallons for the shower.
Well, that's because the water pressure is so good in here.
Yes.
It's almost like a home shower, so it's easy to go through all the water.
Oh, we got a fire truck. So it sets up, it pulls out, wrong side, there we go. There's a cabinet right there.
No, over here.
Oh, I am
It's sorry. Right here.
There we go. So the shower pulls out, it deploys, and there's a curtain that comes down. The water stays in...
Should I turn this on?
No. The water stays in a shower basin, drains really well, and so far we've used it multiple times, and it will be in some of our future videos. You'll see us set it up and actually use it. You don't get to look inside, though.
It's for all of your benefit.
Yes. So yeah, the shower works great.
Yes. I've really enjoyed having it.
Mm-hmm. So we have a question from David, who left us a super chat, and he goes, first vid about Slab City. Did something happen to you? Not sure in what regard do you mean something happened to us? But let me give you a bit of a backstory. So we've been on the road since 2015. We've been making videos for a while. I know a lot of people didn't see our videos when we were in a Class A, but for the last 2 years we were in a ProMaster. And once we got rid of that ProMaster and we were in between campers, a friend of ours let us borrow the Beast, which was a 2002 GMC Savannah that we did a very mild build in. And we basically built it to have fun with because we love this lifestyle and we wanted something we could take on the road and just get out there. And our friend was gracious enough to let us borrow his van and do whatever we wanted to it. So we did. And it was perfect for what we wanted to do, which was stay on the road while we were looking for our next camper. Obviously, we haven't found anything permanent yet. This one is on loan to us. So we are enjoying testing out different campers and different things. And we wanted to get out to Slab City because we had heard a lot of things about it and wanted to see it. So no, don't worry, nothing happened to us. It was all by choice and things we wanted to do.
Next question. Someone would like to know if we're selling the van life shirts we're wearing.
Oh, yes, we are. So if you are on YouTube, which I assume you are because this is a YouTube live stream, below the video, there should be a little merchandise tab. And you should see a few of the different designs of t-shirts. If you click those, you'll see different colors, different designs, and stickers as well. But if you want to find them, go to teespring.com and look for We're the Russos, and you'll see our store of different items.
Is it Teespring or Springs?
I think it's Teespring.
Teespring? Okay. I haven't visited, obviously.
That just happened.
Since we've tested two Ford Transit so far, someone wants to know how we enjoy the Ford Transit platform.
So far, we love it. We've tested both the diesel version in the Leisure Travel Wonder, and this has the EcoBoost with the V6 twin turbo, and that has been awesome. We really like the platform. I would say our perfect van would kind of mix attributes from different vans. So we loved the ProMaster because of how wide it was. The interior, I believe, is 74 inches wide, where the Transit and the Sprinter are 69, or maybe it's 73 inches on the ProMaster, but those 4 or 5 inches make a huge difference in your living space. So this is narrower, but it's also the tallest van in the group. So I think with the high roof, you get an interior height of 6'6". So for you taller people out there, this might be the van for you. We've met a lot of people who are tall, and they said this is the only platform that really works well for them. So we like it, and we haven't had any issues with it so far.
I just checked your van chassis article, and the ProMaster is 73 inches wide.
Okay.
The Sprinter is 69 inches wide.
69, and so is the Transit. So yeah. For those of you who are looking to build out a van, or you're just looking for different van specs, head over to our website at we'retherussos.com, and what should they look for?
It's featured on the homepage. Chassis to consider for your van build?
Yes, or just type in chassis in the search bar on our website, and I put together an article for all the different van chassis that are out there that people are building on, or at least the most popular ones. So take a look at that, and you can see all the different specs and how they line up against each other. I think at the end, our preference was the Transit over some of the others, but we haven't had a chance to take a Mercedes out, which we're looking to rectify.
Might as well consider the entire spectrum.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is a fun question. What is your dream camper? I think we kind of answered that with the Unicorn.
We did. So I would say something with a slightly wider body, either short enough to put a motorcycle on the back and still be under 25 feet, or up to 25 feet with a garage in the back we could put the motorcycle in. Gas engine or an older diesel. And I think that's another important consideration for us and a lot of other people. So the modern diesel engines require something called DEF fluid. It's a diesel particulate it's basically they squirt urea into the engine, which helps with emissions. Well, the downside to that is it's caused a lot of issues with diesel engines, and we're hearing from a lot of people who have fleet vehicles with Mercedes. Actually, we heard from someone earlier today who has a friend with fleet vehicles and said their Mercedes Sprinters are only getting about 80 to 100,000 miles before they start having issues with the emission system. We heard from someone else the other day that same issue. And those older diesels don't require DEF fluid, don't have all the extra emissions equipment on them. Plus, they don't require ultra low sulfur diesel. So I believe any diesel made after, I want to say, '05, '06, maybe '07, somewhere in that range, they require ultra low sulfur diesel. So we plan to go down into Central South America where some of the less developed countries don't yet sell ultra low sulfur diesel. And that can be a problem for your engine. It can really disrupt things. It can void warranties. It can also damage your engine. So that is something to consider if you want to get out of the more developed countries.
Next question is it difficult to drive the camper van in the wind? If it's really windy outside.
Well, how do you feel?
I definitely feel the wind when I'm driving, just like when we were driving a Class A motorhome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's any better or any worse, about the same. When it's really windy out, definitely feel it, but I don't think it's difficult to drive. You just have to be...
It's more work.
It's more work.
And we've been in some extremely strong crosswinds. I mean, this thing is like a kite because you do have the high roof and everything else. You get blown around. I haven't gotten to a point where I found it dangerous or scary. You just have to, if you do feel uncomfortable, just slow down a little bit. But outside of that, we haven't had any problems. Next.
This is fun. When you buy your new camper, will you update your logo so the van outline matches your new camper?
Maybe. Depends.
Depends on what it is, right?
Yeah. If we go with a truck camper, I think we'd definitely update.
How is the motorcycle?
Oh, I love it.
Do you want to let people know what you have?
Sure.
We've been getting a lot of questions on what kind of motorcycle you have.
So I purchased a '05 Suzuki DRZ 400S. That is their dirt model, and well, dirt and dual sport model, I should say. I absolutely love it. I've had street bikes most of my life, and it's nice to have a dual sport where I can sit upright in. It's great in the canyons. It's awesome off-road. I took it truly off-road for the first time 2 days ago and just had an absolute blast with it. So I love it. It's great having on the back. We've used it a few times, like when we went to Overland Expo, it was kind of like our little shuttle vehicle. We've popped into town to go farmers market, grocery shopping, to do little things. But most of all, what I'm really enjoying about it and what Kate is so good at is she will find roads for me. And when we went to Mount Rushmore, for any of you who have been through the Black Hills, you know there are some amazing roads out there, really twisty and technical. So when we went to Mount Rushmore, I took the bike off the back. Kate hung out with Charlie, and I went for a ride. And I come back, if I've been stressed or whatever, I get back and I'm the happiest person alive. So don't want to leave the bike behind. I'm trying to convince Kate to get the little Honda Monkey or something like that.
I would love to get back to riding. When we were at the Van Life gathering, we met a great couple who carry a
TW200, a Yamaha.
And that fits me perfectly. I can't put my feet on the ground in the DRZ, so I can't practice riding. So I have to get a bike that fits me, then I can get back into riding. So that would be fun. And I do like having a motorcycle because, like, when we're camped at a beautiful spot,
yeah,
if we do need to leave and it's dispersed camping, unlike before where we would have to pack up and take the van out, now we can leave the van, take the motorcycle out, and we still get to keep our dispersed camping spot, which has been a huge bonus. And the motorcycle gets much better
gas
gas
mileage.
mileage. So that gets 2 thumbs up for me.
Yeah, I mean, that is one downside of being wholly contained in a single vehicle because we've been to dispersed camping spots. We've had a great spot. We go into town, we get back, and someone else has taken it.
This leads to, would you consider an electric motorcycle?
I would consider one. It would not be at the top of my list. And I think one of the reasons why is you're limited as to how much electricity you have on board the whatever your camper is. So you're either going to have to charge on board your camper, or you're going to have to charge from a campsite, which we don't go to very often. So that really kind of limits how far you can go on an electric motorcycle. There are a lot of people that have electric bicycles and things like that, but I'm just one of those people. I'm a petrol head, so I love my gas engines and I love that sound and the vibration and everything else. So I would feel like I lost something going with an electric motorcycle.
Here's an interesting question. How do you support van life? Or I guess, how do we support this lifestyle?
Well, do you want to start it off?
I'll let you take it. You're so good today.
Well, let's see. So first of all, this YouTube channel is a big contribution to helping us support our lifestyle. The ads you see before, during, and after a video, that is how we make all of our money on YouTube. So when you do hit that skip button, if you haven't watched at least 30 seconds, we don't get anything from it. And so what we do is we make sure when we watch other channels we really like and appreciate, we try to watch at least 30 seconds of an ad so they get the credit for it. But we also make money through advertising on our website, as well as what's known as affiliate sales. So for example, we are Amazon affiliates. So if you go to our website, we have a little store button, and if you go there and either buy something through that store or just click on the Amazon link, we get a percentage of that sale, but you don't pay anything else. So that is also one of our revenue streams. I also wrote a book called Take Risks, One Couple's Journey to Quit Their Jobs and Hit the Open Road, which you can find on Amazon and pretty much everywhere else. And that's also a nice revenue stream. So I guess to kind of sum everything up, there's no one thing that just pays the bills. It's a combination of YouTube, our website, the book, our affiliate sales, and just little other things we have going on that bring in enough revenue every month to keep us on the road and put a little bit back in our bank account.
Well, and don't forget Patreon.
Yes, Patreon is huge for us. We really appreciate everyone there. If you haven't checked it out, please head on over to Patreon for We're the Russos and become part of the WTR family.
Now, this leads to the next question, and people want to know, do you have a publishing date for book 2?
Oh, I will send out an email shortly. For those of you who aren't on our newsletter list, if you want updates and kind of some like current location, stuff like that, again, go over to our website, we'retherussos.com, sign up for the newsletter, and I'm going to send out an email shortly as to when my book is going to be ready for pre-order. I'm hoping to have pre-order up and running in about a week or two. So the book is done. I'm still working on a few little things. I've got to get a cover designed, and once I have that, I think the pre-order will be ready to rock and roll. So I'm hoping that in about maybe a month, a little bit more with the pre-order, that it'll be live and you can purchase it.
All right. I think I'm going to take one more question and we'll wrap it up. How do you feel?
Sure, I can do more questions.
Oh, you can do more questions?
Yeah,
All right.
rolling. I got coffee.
Oh, you still have coffee?
Just a sip left.
Well, now you can move on to coffee water.
There you go.
So a lot of people always ask us, have you considered this RV, this van? And I'm not going to list all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just want to give sort of a recap of ones that we're considering or have looked at?
Oh, that would be
how do you want to approach this? Because we've gotten so many questions about different RVs, and have we looked at them?
So, yeah, that's a long question because there are so many different RVs out there, and even single models, you have different floor plans within those models. And I would say that for the most part, anything that is current within the last couple of years, we've probably looked at, especially if it's smaller and it's a van. We go to a lot of industry events, RV shows, things like that, and we're always going and looking at all the different RVs. Um, you know, I think one of the best ways to put it is not every RV is for us. They're very personal things. And I think a lot of people, find RVs that they really like, they want us to look at, and sometimes it just doesn't work for us. Um, I think we've looked at a lot of used RVs and RVs that they don't make anymore. We've looked at quite a few things, but I will say that every now and again, someone will send us an email or a note and say, have you checked out this company? And it'll be completely new to us. So we're always finding new stuff. Some of the brands or some of the things that we really like is, so far, we love the Storyteller Overland. This thing has been awesome. We really like what Sportsmobile is doing, Outside Van, some of the other custom van builders. We've looked at Class Cs. We've looked at truck campers. We want to go check out, it's four-wheel pop-up campers.
I think it's called four-wheel campers, but they make pop-up truck campers, right?
So we want to go check them out because we are interested in possibly doing a truck camper. We've looked at Lances. We've looked pretty much across the board.
We looked at Earth Cruiser.
Yes, we did look at Earth Cruiser.
We like to look at things out of our budget just to dream big and see what it's all about.
Exactly. But I think for us, it really comes down to, and for those of you who are shopping or might be shopping at some point, is making a list and putting down the things that are absolute must-haves. With any RV, there are going to be compromises. You're never going to find the perfect RV, but you can find an RV that works within the compromises that you understand. So if you want something with a full bath and a huge water tank so you can take long showers every day, great. Put that on your list as a must-have, and understand that there are going to be compromises because you probably are going to need a larger rig. For us, it's about being able to fit in a single parking spot. It's about having enough room and storage for both of us and the motorcycle with enough carrying capacity. And we want a permanent bed. That's actually something that's very important to us, and a comfortable place to sit, relax, work, and have movie nights. That's actually, so a lot of people ask if we watch TV on the road or do different things. We don't watch TV, but we do like to hit up Redbox or go on Netflix and stream a movie or something, and kick back with with some popcorn and watch a movie.
I do miss movie night.
Yeah. So did that answer the question?
Yes, I think that was a good way to answer the question.
Yeah.
Now that we've tested a four-wheel drive camper, like this one, would we consider it a must-have now for our future camper?
Oh, that's another kind of loaded question.
You said you were ready.
So I would say for us, I think it's a must-have, but we may compromise and get something that's not. I know that conflicts with each other, having a must-have and compromising, but we found, now that we've been using this, we can take this a lot more places and not worry about getting stuck. The four-wheel drive on this thing is awesome. It has great ground clearance, and we've been able to take this places that we could take our Jeep. We couldn't do that in our last ProMaster. It never would have made it up some of the roads that we've gone down. Plus, we found with this, it's raised, it has larger tires on it, and the ride is a lot more comfortable when we're going off-road or we're going down washboard roads. We took our ProMaster out into the Mojave Desert once, and we were subjected to 12 miles of absolute hell. It was washboard road, dirt. That thing was not made to do that. And we were kind of panicked that we weren't going to be able to get out. In this, we would have no second thoughts about a road like that. And I think that is very important if you want to get off the beaten path. Now, we've talked to other people that say, you know what, I have no interest in it, So for those people, I would say two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, whatever happens to be, would work great. Um, for those who are kind of on the fence, I would say four-wheel drive can also be an additional insurance policy. So let's say you happen to go out into the middle of forest, you're on a great forest service road that's well graded and you don't have any issues. Well, while you're out there, it may rain or snow, and now you have to get out. So that's something to consider, and having four-wheel drive alleviates a lot of those concerns.
We have a question submitted on our website. Mike wants to know if we are considering Class B pluses, so small C's, or are we exclusively limiting our search to B's now?
And that was Mike?
Yes.
Mike, great question. So we have checked out the Leisure Travel Wonder, their newest rear twin bed. We really liked that, but what we're finding with some of the B pluses is they don't necessarily have the carrying capacity that we're looking for. So with Kate, myself, possibly a dog in the future, full tank of water, the motorcycle and rack on the back, I mean, right there you're looking at about, let's see, about 750 pounds. So we need that just to bring that stuff, not including all of our food, clothes, and everything else we bring in here. So carrying capacity for us is a big deal. Also, a lot of the B pluses are in the, I think they're about 22 to 25 feet. And when we put a motorcycle on the back, that extends the length another 3.5 feet, which is way longer than we want to go. What would be perfect for us, and going back to what our unicorn is a wider body, either a van or a Class C, small Class C, where we could put the motorcycle inside in an enclosed garage.
Okay. Well, do you want to keep going?
Sure. I'm on a roll, apparently.
You are on a roll.
Are you guys having a good time? Because I am.
Let's see. Find some good questions in here. Oh, so this question has come up a couple of times, I think, because people are just joining the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know what van we're testing now.
Okay.
We mentioned it in the beginning.
Yep. So this is the Storyteller Overland. They're a new company that's coming out with some Class B vans this September. I think it's when they're going to start to roll them out. We are in their transit mode 4x4. This is a prototype. Their first to market is going to be on the Mercedes chassis. It's going to be the exact same layout as this, and then they're going to be releasing a transit version. Some of the key features of it. This is, I think it's about 19.5 feet in length. It is the high roof transit. It has a Quigley 4x4 conversion on it, and we've used that, and it is awesome. 22-gallon freshwater tank. It has a huge inverter. I think it's over 3,000 watts. It has about a 750 amp hour lithium battery. I think they said it's 8,700 usable watt hours of electricity, which we're running the AC right now, and it is working great. And that is another thing. This has an AC unit that is running directly off the batteries and doesn't have to go through the inverter. So it is extremely efficient, but it's also very quiet. I don't know if you can hear it on this live stream right now, but we've been running the AC the entire time. Some of the other features is it's actually set up for 4 people. So driver, passenger, and then on this bench you could sit 2 small adults or 2 children. There are pool tested seat belts in both positions, and then this bench seat kind of reclines back and turns into a full bed. So there is enough room for everyone. There is a shower right behind me that I've used and works well, along with a small porta potty. I think that covered most of the items.
And you did a pretty extensive walkthrough.
Yes, you can find a pretty extensive walkthrough on our YouTube channel. Just search for Storyteller Overland Mode 4x4.
And someone said they're new to our channel and really interested in that motorcycle rack. What is it? Is it custom made?
So the motorcycle rack is a Joe Holler. Let me tell you guys a little bit more about it. I think the weight comes in right around 54 pounds, which is lighter than a lot of the other ones we were looking at, but it is made from steel. It is absolutely rock solid, and one of the coolest features about it is when you put a motorcycle rack into a hitch carrier or into the hitch, there's always a little bit of slop. And one of the problems I found with other bike racks I looked into is they wiggled back and forth, and the bike would be bouncing around as you drove the entire time, and that just did not seem good to me. There are devices that you can screw down to kind of help maintain that, but it doesn't work 100%. What this has is a cam lock design. So once you put the hitch into the carrier, you tighten down a bolt, and what that does is there's a cut, it wedges itself in there, locks it into the receiver, and it doesn't wiggle whatsoever. It is absolutely solid. We put about 5,000 miles on it now. We haven't had a single issue, and we took it off-roading, and the bike was bouncing all over the place. The carrier was fine, the bike was fine. Joe Holler does sell those directly off their website. You don't have to get it custom made, but Joe Holler will also custom make a rack for whatever your needs are. So if you have a heavier bike and you need something more substantial, if you have two motorcycles that you want to put on, he makes them for ATVs, all sorts of other stuff. So I would get in touch with them if you want a high quality motorcycle carrier.
And the thing I really like about Joe Holler is if you get, let's say, a single motorcycle carrier and you decide later you want a double motorcycle carrier, you can actually take that carrier back to him
and get credit towards your other carrier.
Yeah. So you can't beat that.
Yeah, we actually met Joe. He is an awesome guy, has a great shop. We really love his values and everything. And one of the reasons why we're promoting him so much, he's great. So if you do call or email them, just let them know we sent you and they'll take care of you.
Okay. More motorcycle related. What do you think about wild camping and stealth camping with a motorcycle on the back?
I love it. It's great because we did that last night. We were camped and right along the Snake River in Idaho. There was an off-road motorcycle trail, so I dropped the bike, took it off, went riding. This morning they had pit toilets, so I took the motorcycle to go use the pit toilets, and we take the motorcycle out to go exploring. I think one of the other things we really like about having a motorcycle is that if we do want to go into town, run errands, grab groceries, we don't have to give up our spot. So we've left a dispersed camping spot many times to come back to find someone else there. And the spot we had, you'll see it in a future video, is not one we would have wanted to give up. We were right along the river. It was gorgeous. We had a huge area, so it was nice.
It was lovely. Okay, last question. We're almost at an hour.
Okay.
Motorcycle related. Could you fit your motorcycle in the Leisure Travel Wonder garage?
No. The garage had, the capacity on the garage was 500 pounds, so weight-wise I could have held it. My bike was just too tall and too wide to fit in there. I think if you went with something like a Grom or a Honda Monkey that's smaller, you might very well be able to fit it in that garage. The only caution I would have with any RV motorhome is if you do plan to bring a motorcycle along with you, count that plus if you have a carrier into the carrying capacity of that, because there are a lot of vehicles that once you put two people in, you fill up the tank of water, you bring your stuff inside, you're not going to have the capacity to carry, another few hundred pounds of motorcycle and carrier.
What was the motorcycle our friend Jason had in Fort Collins? The little
electric thing? He had a little mini bike, a electric mini bike.
Yeah, I think you could fit a mini bike in that garage.
Oh, absolutely. But that's not street legal.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
I think you could definitely fit some of the electric bicycles, because that rear garage was made specifically to hold bicycles and other equipment like that. So you could definitely fit electric bikes in there.
And I just want to go back really quickly before we end.
Mm-hmm.
On the stealth camping question about having a motorcycle, I think the the piece we didn't address is, let's say we're street camping or trying to stealth camp in an urban area. Do you feel like having the motorcycle on the back has hindered us at all?
No, I would say when we've done stealth camping on streets, and I use the word stealth very loosely. People know that what we're in is a RV or motorhome. But we've never had anyone knock on the door or be bothered by it. We visited friends, family. We were staying parked in front of a friend's house in Colorado for a week, and no one cared. Some of the neighbors came over and thought it was cool. Um, but it's one of those things where I think unless you start really, let's say, camping out of the van, like you're putting chairs outside or you have garbage outside and things that annoy neighbors, then you're probably going to get the cops called on you. But if you're just parking there for the night, you're quiet, you're not disturbing anyone, there's not a lot of chance that someone's going to get annoyed by that. We've stealth camped, or street camped in our Class A motorhome, and we were fine. So I think it's more about your attitude and the way you treat the area around. As long as you treat it with respect, you should be good.
Yeah. Oh, and I will ask for everyone who's tuning in for some help. Joe is looking for a motorcycle cover. If you have any recommendations, leave a comment.
Well, let's clarify. The cover I'm looking for needs to be trailerable. So what I need is a cover for the bike because it's getting absolutely filthy on the back of the van, especially when we go down dirt roads. So I want something that's going to cover the bike and not fly off in the wind and be sturdy enough to withstand it going down the highway.
And I will say I've really enjoyed reading all of the positive comments and feedback from everybody in the chat. It means a lot to us that our content is helping you, whether it's entertaining or educational for you. You know, that's the reason why we share, is to provide value, and it's really nice to read those comments. So thank you for sharing. We really appreciate it.
We do. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because the content that we create, we're here to hopefully make an impact in your life and help you live the life you want to by sharing our journey. So if you enjoy that, please subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Yeah. Bye,
guys.
everyone.